Namo Doi Savariyantam, Namo Doi Savaridanam, Namo Doi Savariyam, Namo Doi Savajayam, Namo Doi Savatrikavati Savanam, Omkara Mindu Sanyam Punyam Jayanti Yogina, Kamadam Okshadam Te Omkara Namo Manganam Bhagavan Viro Manganam Ukamuni, Manganam Kunkundari Ujendra Musa Manganam Namasana Swanu Bhutya Jakasti Chit Svahai Bhavaya Vivaha Nirusnidata.
Om Namo Sarvatrikavarti Arantanam. Om Namo Sarvatrikavarti Siddhanam. Om Namo Sarvatrikavarti Aryanam. Om Namo Sarvatrikavarti Vajjanam. Om Namo Sarvatrikavarti Savanam. Kesha Panchamukkaro Sarva Pava Panasam Manglalancha Servicing Paramam Hava Manglam. Omkaram Bindu Sanyuktam Nityam Dayanti Yoginam Kamadam Moksham Shiva Omkaraya Namo Namasamay Saraya Swami Buddhya Chakasate Chitsabhavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachile Agnanatimirandhanam Gnana Anjana Salakaya Chaksurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayavanta Omkaranada Jinano Jayavanta Jinana Samo Sarana Sau Jayavanta Netirthachara Jagama Jayavanta Namo Tirthanayakane Namo Omkaradane Omkara Sangarutane Namo Keti Kunda Kundane Aho Upakara Jinavarano Kundano Dvani Divyano Jina Kunda Dvaniyaka Aho Te Gurukana Aho Te Bhagavati Mata Duvatalane Anupamagati Pamela Sarvesi Danu Vandika Ho Sutta Kevali Bhasita Astamaya Prapata Are Eka Suddha Sada Arupi Jnana Darsanamaya Kare Kayanyate Maru Gari Paramanu Matranati Are Yamanetra Majagana Napikarpanati Vedakare Chani Jakara Modaya Nirajara Bandati Om Namaste Om Namaste Om Susuddha Mane Namaha. Jai Jinendra. We are going to continue our discussion for substance. Let me see. Share screen. Share screen. Okay. To start with, this is a very happy occasion of Diwali. It's a Mahavir Nirvan Kalyanak Mahamotsav. Lord Mahavir Swami, as we know, obtained Nirvana on this day in Pavapuri in Bihar. And because it's been said that Lord Mahavir Swami was a beacon of light, he gave the enlightenment, he gave the idea about the real nature of the soul and everything. So upon his nirvana, there was a darkness. So that darkness, we try to remove it by lighting the lamp. So that little lamp of knowledge that occurs within me is kind of a symbolism. And so that's what we celebrate Diwali for that. On Diwali day, in the early morning, there is a process called Nirvan Ladu Puja in the temple. So those are the importance of this day. As we know, there are 5 auspicious events in a Lord's life: the conception event, birth event, initiation into monkhood event, omniscience event, and nirvana event. These are 5 events are celebrated at a great fanfare, and our Lord Mahavishwami was the last Tirthankar of this time cycle. So we celebrate his birth and Nirvana event on a larger scale. Birth event comes in April sometimes, and that's called Chaitra Sud Teras, and that's his birth event. And Nirvana event occurs on a Diwali day, which is today. And of course, in US, it will start first thing in the morning. Here in India right now, it has been started. By the time to time, you may hear some kind of a firecracker noise because people are celebrating. I'm sitting in Dharampur, and weather is fantastic. It's just morning, and it's a beautiful weather. Anyway, okay. So we are talking substance, and we are talking a benefit of knowing the substance. We first knew first benefit was if one gets a grandeur about his own soul. Second thing was when we know the soul substance, then rest of the thing become very secondary, and our attention starts going away from those things. We talked that one in detail. We are talking benefit number 3. We started that, we didn't finish, so we'll just recapitulate and go through it. So collection of attributes is not a substance. What benefit do I get by knowing that fact? Well, one ends up knowing that by taking refuge in this eternal nature of the self, he'll be able to obtain enlightenment and further to the liberation state. Wait a second. How do I get enlightenment just by knowing this kind of substances and everything? Well, let's analyze that fact and try to understand how I can obtain enlightenment, how I can obtain Samyak Darshan just by knowing the soul substance, having the infinite attribute. Here now, when we talk substance, we'll be talking as a soul substance only because that is our primary interest. We are not interested in matter, medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time. My entire existence is due to soul substance. And so when we talk substance, we'll talk about soul substance mainly. So by end up knowing that by taking refuge in this eternal soul substance, I'll be able to get enlightenment. How that occurs, we'll be talking that one in detail. So what happens? Once I know that this is the soul substance with the entire infinite attributes within, and that is my nature, which is there since time infinite, beginningless time in the past, and it will remain as time infinite in the future. So, I am the one who exists forever. If I'm existing forever, do I need anybody's help? No, if I need anybody's help, then that help will get depleted. So, I have the independent existence of my own. And when I know that part, then my attention from the alien objects of the words gets removed. My attachment to the alien objects of the word comes to an end. Now, as a result, I end up getting right faith and ultimately the liberation state. Now, again, we have to analyze this fact that this is one theory that we are proposing. How does it really work? So that's what we are going to talk. From what perspective, now, when we are talking eternal soul substance, then we have to say liberated state is a Siddha Bhagwan, and I am the transmigratory soul. So, do I have any similarity? Because in liberated soul, Siddha Bhagwan also was a transmigratory soul before. So there should be some similarity. So what are those similarities I have? Well, from the eternal true nature of the soul substance and its infinite attribute perspective, one does not have any differences with the liberated soul. Siddha Bhagwan has an eternal soul substance, and Siddha Bhagwan has infinite pure attributes within. So am I. I have the soul substance, infinite, eternal soul substance. That's my existence. And I'm with the infinite attributes within me. So we have similarities. He and me are same. Not only me, but every living creature of the universe, the lowest possible, lowest form of life called Nigor, to the highest ladder of transmigratory soul like a human being, 5 sense sentient being, and heavenly being and hellish soul and plants and everything combined together. They all have eternal soul substance and they have infinite attribute, just like the Siddha Bhagwan. So we have similarity with him, right? Okay. Then what perspective do I differ with them? Well, I differ with the eternal soul, with this liberated soul, by having modal perspective. His mode is a pure in nature, and my mode is impure in nature. His modification every moment, every samay turns out to be pure and pure and pure and pure. In series of purity, it will come forever. His mode remains absolutely pure all the time, constantly, every moment. Me, right now, transmigratory soul, I have the wrong faith with me, then all my modifications, all my paryay, all my modes will come impure. So he has a pure modes and I have an impure modes. So that's a difference. So what now? More this modification lasts for one samay only, one moment only. And remember, we just said one samay or one moment means blink of an eye, uncounted amount of samay pass by. Blink of an eye, uncounted amount of samay pass by. That means 10 raised to 29 and beyond, that many time units pass by in one blink of an eye. And that kind of that samay, I have an impure modification, the Bhagwan has a pure modification. So what's the difference between me and Sita? What's the difference between me and the liberated soul? I have only one samay difference. I have impure mode, he is a pure mode. Can you imagine how tiniest distance differences we have between the two, between the liberated soul and me? This is what it is. So now question comes. Wait a second. If I have the impure mode in this moment and Siddha Bhagwan is a pure mode in this moment, how can I make my impure mode to pure mode? That's a logical question, right? Because from soul substance perspective, I am the same as a liberated soul. From infinite attribute perspective, I am the same as a liberated soul. Only in the modification in my paryay, in my modes, there is a changes. I have an impure mode and he has a pure mode. Oh, Chirag, are you talking to me?
No.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. I thought that there was some, okay, no problem. All right. So now, question comes, logical, how do I bridge these differences? How do I make my mode pure so that I become liberated soul also? Having liberated soul has an everlasting super sensuous bliss forever and ever and ever and ever. I want to have the same one. So our learned teacher says, okay, you have the question, we have the answer. So now, How do I remove the modal difference in the difference that I have with the liberated soul? Then Acharya Bhagwan is very funny. He says, whatever liberated soul did, you do the same thing. Wait a second. I mean, yeah, I know he did something, but what did he do? So, what did liberated soul do to remove impurity in his mode? Well, soul consists of infinite attribute having indivisibility with the eternal soul substance. He, the liberated soul, Siddha Bhagwan, when he was in transmigratory state, he concentrated on this eternal true nature of the soul substance. And when he concentrated, when he put his faith on the eternal soul substance, then his impurities disappeared and he obtained purity and further purity and total purity, and that's called liberation, which has absolute knowledge. At the same time, he can also know the whole universe, past, present, future. Of course, knowing the whole universe, he has no interest in it because he has obtained dispassion state. He has obtained passionless state. So he has no interest. He is just engrossed in his own pure nature and enjoys the super sensuous bliss forever and ever and ever. How? Just by directing his attention to the eternal true nature of the self. You mean this is that easy? Come on. If that is easy, how come I'm suffering? Well, you're suffering because you don't understand the fact. You don't want to understand the fact. You don't want to get engrossed in the fact. So Acharya Bhagwan puts blame on me. It's my weakness, my laziness that I don't put my attention on eternal soul substance. So now, let's see what happens next. So now, how do I achieve this state and everything? Every substance of the universe is having infinite attribute. What do I get? What do I get knowing this fact? Now I'm starting process. I want to know my eternal soul substance. And for that thing, definition of soul substance, we just say soul substance is the one which has a infinite attribute remain in unison. And so once I concentrate on that, once I put a faith on it, then I can get the enlightenment. So as every substance is having infinite attributes, then there is no need for one to look around. I have an infinite attribute, you have an infinite attribute, matter particle is an infinite attribute, medium of motion, medium of rays, space and time, they all have infinite attribute. But I have an infinite attribute. Remember those infinite attributes we counted? It's a huge thing. And I'm the owner of that. Do I really want to go and look into the alien objects of the universe to look for happiness, to look for the attributes and everything? No, they are within me only. I'm ignoring them. I'm not looking at them. I'm not putting attention to them. That's my problem. I have the money in the bank, but I don't know anything about it. There's a story. We'll go through a small story. One guy, one older person has tons and tons of money, but he's very sick now. He's going to die. And he has very young child, about 8-10-year-old child. And he thought that if I keep this money, if I die, when I die, all this money will come to this child. And child is very innocent. He doesn't know the reality of the life and everything. He doesn't understand complexity. So he's going to blow out all the money. So this old man talked to one of his trusted friends and said, listen, I'm giving you this money. You keep it safe. And when this child becomes 25, then you give it to him. Okay? The father dies and the son is alone now. he has no means of making money, no means of having food and everything. By hook or crook, he finished his high school and all kind of thing. And finally, he started driving a rickshaw or taxi. Let's have taxi. He started driving taxi to make his ends meet. And he makes money for the whole day. He runs around the town and everything. And whatever money he gets it, he buys the food and goes to sleep. There's no savings, nothing. The next day starts again. Same thing. This kind of thing going on. This guy lives in very poor state and everything. And now it comes at the age of 25. And one day he's driving taxi and he heard on the radio that Mohanlal, come down and pick up your money. And he said, oh my God, bank is announcing some $1 million and the guy has the same name like me. He must be a lucky guy. So he listened to the way he kept on driving his taxi throughout the day. Then he came home and he started TV and TV says, Mr. Mohanlal, come down and pick up your money. And he says, my God, they really advertise so heavily. Next day, newspaper, he says, big, whole newspaper full of ads. Mr. Mohanlal, come and pick up your money. And he says, somebody is lucky. My name is Mohanlal too, but how can I be lucky? I'm the taxi driver. I'm poor guy. So he kept on working, thinking about it, but does not act on it. Then his uncle came and says, hey, Mohanlal, come, take me to the bank. So he takes Mohanlal to the bank. And as soon as they reach to bank, the manager comes out and staff comes out and they greet Mohanlal and say, oh my God, you are the one, we have the money ready for you, all the things. This guy gets confused and says, really? Am I the one? How come? They say, the uncle say, listen, your daddy kept the money and I left it in a fixed deposit and all kind of thing. And now the money is ready for you and you'll get it. So he said, okay, let me have money. So bank manager says, okay, you have to sign some papers and everything. So he signed paper and all the thing. And bank manager says, it will take a couple of days before the money gets released. So this guy now, Mr. Mohanlal, comes out of the bank and he says, I am the greatest of the great. I'm the millionaire right now. And then he sat down in the taxi and somebody said, hey, taxi, help me out. I want to go. He says, no way. I'm the millionaire guy. I'm not a taxi driver. Remember, what happened here? Did he get money right now? No. But he got convinced that he has money in his pocket. He has money coming in. Similarly, I have the infinite attributes within me. I have never known, and I kept on begging and looking for happiness in the outside material world. Why should I not look within that I'm the owner of these infinite attributes within me? And if I look at it, I'll also get the peace of mind. I'll get the peace of mind, I'll get the enlightenment, and I'll get a further purification, and I will get liberation in which I'll have eternal happiness forever, ever and ever. So, one taking refuge in the eternal true nature of the self, then one ends up with righteousness. One ends up with righteousness means enlightenment. This is the Bhutarthane Asray Dharmani Prapti, which the Samaisar scripture mentions this fact. Remember, we are also doing Swadhyaya and Samaisar. Samaisar also has this kind of sentence. So, which stanza it says? Well, stanza 11. Those who are attending our Wednesday class, that we are doing Samaisar, we are on Samaisar stanza 6. We'll be coming to stanza 11, which is extremely important, another important stanza. So, highly learned monks have said that conventional point of view is not right and absolute point of view is right. The living being, when takes refuge in the eternal true nature of the self, then he ends up getting enlightenment. Means conventional point of view means I am the body. I believe that I am the body. I am my shirt. I am my family. I have my wealth. I have my car. all those things are conventional point of view, separate from me. The absolute point of view is my eternal soul substance within me. And so when I take refuge in that one, that becomes absolute point of view, and that will give me the enlightenment. I'm full of infinite attributes, full of wealth within me. So I should look within. Okay? Now, how come ignorant self has no righteousness state so far? We are the ignorant souls. How come we don't have righteousness state? अज्ञानी को धर्म की प्राप्ति क्यों नहीं है? Ignorant soul, how come he does not end up knowing the nature of the soul? So let's take few points over here. Physical body is having form and soul is formless. One cannot see the soul. Physical senses cannot make the soul's perception. I cannot perceive the soul with physical senses because it's a formless. Well, physical body is with a form. I can see my hand, I can see my leg, I can see my face. So physical body is with a form. Then second thing, body is matter and soul is with a consciousness. See, we are talking contrast right now. Bear with me and then we'll see what's happening here. Physical body is matter and I'm a consciousness. So we are entirely two separate events happening here. Then body is with the association, soul is without. Body is with association means body has infinite amount of matter, atomic particle get together and that makes body. Soul doesn't have any association with anybody else at all. Soul is a pure, remember, Siddha Bhagwan's soul is a pure, my soul is also pure, gold is a gold in the gold mine. When you purify the gold, that's gold. When I make the ornament, that is gold. And when I make that gold into Canadian maple leaf, 99.99% pure gold, that is also gold. So that has no association with anything else. So soul also has no association with anybody else. Body has association. Okay? Then body is mortal. I'm alive. I'm born today. I'll be dead tomorrow. Soul is immortal. Soul is never be created, never be destroyed. It's always there. Of course, body has an infinite matter particle, and those atomic particles are immortal. But when they merge together, they merge and they disperse. They merge, then they disperse. That's why body is mortal and soul is immortal. Body cannot see or perceive, soul does. Then one can say, wait a second, I have my eyes, I can see everything. What do you mean by body cannot see? Well, eye is a medium through which soul ends up knowing. For example, if you say that without eye I can't see, how come the blind man walks and crosses the street? Traffic is there and everything, he can cross the street. How? Because body cannot perceive, eyes cannot perceive. Body and eye and all the senses, physical senses, they are the vehicle through which soul ends up knowing. But knowing action occurs in the soul. If body is required to get the sense, body and senses are required to know, then Siddha Bhagwan, he has no body, he has no form. He is a formless, he is bodiless, and he can perceive the whole universe, past, present, future. So, soul does the action of knowing. Body is perceived with senses, soul is with the super senses. Physical body is perceived with the sense, touch, taste, smell, seeing, hearing. That way I can perceive the body. But soul, to perceive the soul, I need super sense. Atindriya Anand is required to perceive the soul. And last part, body is external alien substance, soul is internal self-reality. My soul, I'm the soul, and I'm the internal self reality existing within myself only, and body is an external alien object. So these are the contrast there, right? They are the super contrast that we are showing. Now what happens? Ignorant soul, ignorant soul has belief, knowledge, and conduct with this contrasting thing, and that is the reason that he did not realize his true nature of self. Means the ignorant self makes unity with these contrasting things. The form, body with the form, and soul with the formless. He just makes a unity and just says they are one. Body is a matter, soul is consciousness. Ignorant soul says they are the one. So all this point that we just said, ignorant soul makes unity with those things, unity with the external objects and the self, and that's a reason. That's a reason that I'm not able to obtain righteousness state. That's a reason that I'm not able to obtain enlightenment. That's the reason I'm not able to obtain right faith. So this is the reason. So I want to obtain right faith. What do I have to do? Well, separate this all these things from the soul, separate them out completely, and you can yeah. Any question?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
So in that time period between when the soul is changing bodies,
Yeah.
it's not attached to a body, so why it,
Yes.
whatever time it takes to change bodies, why doesn't it then realize itself?
Okay. All right. Well, Chirag, this is very, very, very smart question that you are asking. What happens? That I'm the soul, and I'm with this physical body right now. When my soul and body get separated, that's called death. When soul and body get associated, that's called birth. So I was born and I'll be dead. Death means separation from the physical body. Okay, that's true. When transmigratory soul separates from the physical body, then within no more than 3 samai, 3 moments. Remember, samai means innumerable samai passed by in blink of an eye. There was kind of 3 samai, 3 time units, 3 moments. This soul gets birthed somewhere else. Okay, transmigrated soul we are talking, understand that one. Now, what happens when I am traveling from away from this body to the next life? I'm traveling from this body away from the next life. I still have association with the matter particles. What are those matter particle association? I have a karma particles associated with me, and I have the electric body attached with me. Electric body and karma body, those are with me. Physical body dissociates from the soul, but the karma particle, which is called karma body, and electrical particle called electrical body, these 2 bodies are with me in transmigratory soul. So when I go from this, I separate from this body, within maximum 3 samai, I'm at the next place where I'm supposed to take a birth, and this because of my karma particle and my soul starts accepting the matter particle to make a new body, new physical body, and the electrical body, electrical particle, they will provide the heat, and so the new body is formed there. So even in my transmigration from one life to other life, I have physical bodies absent, but I have karmic bodies with me, and I have the electric bodies with me, and they remain with me. So minimum, at a given time, minimum transmigratory soul has 2 forms of bodies. Electric body and karmic body. Association of karma particle. Yes.
હા, આ બે બોડીની સાથે ત્રીજી આહારક બોડી હોય ને?
Yeah, we are just coming to the point. Yeah.
હા, કે ઈ પેલો આહાર લે પછી તેજસ બોડી એને પચાવીને નવું શરીર બને ને?
Yes. આહારક શરીર is different. ઔદારિક શરીર.
ઔદારિક શરીર હોય. ઔદારિક શરીર તો જ્યારે ઈ આહાર લે પછી બને ને? જ્યારે જાય ત્યારે એની સાથે આહારિક શરીર હોય જે બીજો કણ ત્યાંથી આહારનો લે, એવું છે કે?
What you are talking is right, partly right. Ahar paryapti is not. It's called ahar paryapti. It's not called ahar body.
Okay.
While we are on this subject, let's clarify that matter particles, they have association with the transmigratory soul. How many different forms of associations are there? One is a physical body that I have it, and plants and animals, they have it. Those are particles of the matter particle with the specific characteristics of making physical body. There are particles in the universe that they make the celestial and infernal bodies. So the second type of particles are there. Third type is called Karman particles. It's called Karman body, means karma particles associated with me. Fourth is electric body. Electric body means electric particle, specific kind of electric particle associated with my body. And fifth one is called Aharak body. Aharak body is one which comes out from the right shoulder of some of the very, very highly saints. That if he has a question, then the body comes out from his upper shoulder, 1 foot body, it goes to Tirthankar Bhagwan, gets the answer and comes back. So these kind of body associations are there with us. Now, so minimum bodies I have as a transmigratory soul is a karmic particle association and electric particle association, means Karman body and electrical body. When I take a birth in heavenly soul, then I have a Vaikriya body. I have the particles akin to the celestial body. If I'm taking birth in the human and or plant and animal, then my body is called gross body, which is called Audarik Sharir.
Kiritanka?
Yeah.
Can I just ask you, I've never heard of electric, I haven't heard of any of these bodies, but the electric body, is that just like electric current, like electrons, electric current, or this is some form of energy, and that's why you're calling it electric?
Yes.
તેજસ શરીર.
What happens, for example, I have the electric body within me and you and everybody, right? Now, when my soul separates from the body, which is our definition, death. How do you pronounce a person dead? Well, he has no pulse, he doesn't speak, his senses are not working, and he has no breathing. And what else you say? My God, his body became like ice cold. Because my body temperature is 98 degrees. But if I die right now, electrical particle are out from me. It's called Tejas Vargana. Tejas Vargana. Lack of better word, we are talking electrical body, but because of limitation in the English language. So Tejas Vargana, when it is gone out from me, I become like a regular 68-degree room temperature. So I become quote unquote ice cold. So that's one of the definition you gave for the death. That, oh my God, the guy is dead and he is a cold body. There is no warmth at all. Because the Tejas particles went out from the body. the Tejas particle or electrical particle are the one which helps in digestion and helps accepting the matter particle, and it just makes the body again. Now, if you understand medical part, if you go to the anatomical class in the medical school, and in an anatomical class, they teach you embryology. What embryology says? The ovum and the sperm get together, becomes a fertilized ovum, one cell alone right now, and then it divides into 2 and 4 and 6 and 8, and it becomes heap of cells. And then with this electrical body particle within, in the center, it becomes a gap. So it becomes a kind of big ball with a gap in the center, and then it gets extended. So it becomes ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. From head to toe, there is also a cavity forms. And these are the things that embryology teaches. This is the same thing that Jainism is teaching, that as soon as soul reaches to the new transmigratory soul, reaches to the new destination, then it starts accepting matter particles. And then with the electrical body, electrical particles, it starts giving energy. And with energy, it becomes further divide and redivide, and then ultimately becomes heap of cells, and then organ, and then human body, and or plant, animal body, or all. So there is so much similarity with medical fact that we know today. And this fact given since time infinite in the past, and if we don't believe that, at least Mahavir gave that message to us 2,500 years back. There was no science and everything, but Mahavir was super scientist. He knew everything about it, and so he put this fact in front of us. So that's what happened. Does it make sense? And Chirag, your question, your question is very, very important. That what happens in transmigration from one life to the other life, there is association of the body is there. Only in the final stage of liberation, when I become karma free and I become electrical particle free, then the soul is totally free of every material particle and goes at the top of the universe and stays as a liberated soul in pure everlasting happiness. Does it make sense so far?
Yes, thank you.
Go ahead.
એક જાત પૂછ્યું સાથે તમે જે હમણાં કીધું ને કે આ રક બોડી થી આવી રીતે શરીર શોલ્ડર માંથી નીકળીને પછી જાય, મેં છે ને ક્યાંક તો બી વાંચ્યું છે, મને ધ્યાનમાં નથી, પણ એમાં એમ કીધું કે માથામાંથી 1 ફૂટનું શરીર નીકળે અને પછી
રાઈટ શોલ્ડર. Okay. And when you say that aharak vargana, aharak paryapti, when we come to that paryapti developmental phases, and so we will talk that one when it comes. Right now, let's concentrate on a topic that even in the one soul living from one body to the other body, there is dissociation of the physical body, but karmic body and electric body are still associated with me, and so I'm not without those body. And that's why remember, physical body, I can say, okay, I'm separate from the physical body, because I've seen people dying and everything, and from their death, my family members have died, my loved one have died, and from that situation, I probably came to conclusion that, okay, body is separate. At least from the intellectual perspective, I can accept, and then I can try to put into my daily routine life also. But karma particles stays with me for a longest time, which since time infinite, I have association with the karma particle, and till I obtain liberation, karma particle will hang around with me. So I have the closest relations with the karma particle. And that's why in Jain philosophy, karma theory is being given a lot more importance, because that is associated with me extremely closely. And how can I take my attention away from that part also? That's what we are trying to understand with this theory part. When I understand theory part, it makes sense to me. Then it is easier for me to digest, easier for me to implement those facts and get engrossed with my eternal true nature of the self. Remember, physical body remains with me for 50, 60, 70, 80 years as a human being. If I become the celestial being, I can have the body association for 33 sagropam, which is extremely huge amount of time. Okay, so physical body. Then my karmic particle, they stay with me forever and ever and ever and ever till I obtain liberation. And when I obtain liberation, what do I have? Only my pure eternal soul substance with its attributes is within me. So I have a close, super close relationship with my own natural self, which is never created, never be destroyed, always there. Next close relationship I have is a carbon particles. Next thing is my physical body, and then physical sense and all the things. So those are things that we have to keep in understanding. Shall we go next one? Okay. So now, what's the only reason for obtaining? So now it becomes very easy. What's the only liberation for obtaining liberation? Because remember, I'm going for the most important goal in my life. What it should be, that I have to know that I'm the infinite pure attributes, and these attributes have indivisibility with its eternal soul substance. When I take refuge in this eternal soul substance, that's my remedy to obtain liberation. Remember the question in the third benefit, we raised the question that by knowing this eternal soul substance, I can obtain liberation. Here is an answer. How can I obtain liberation? So these are the reasons that I have to understand. I have to take the association, I have to dissociate from the world. And at the same time, I have to take the refuge within my eternal soul substance, right? So this is what I'm going to do it, and I'm going to obtain it. So now it's see, we are smart people, so we say, wait a second, all this thing you just said, where is scriptural reference? I need reference. I don't want to take your words for granted. Then it says, okay, here's few of the chapters that we are going to tell you where there is reference given for this fact. Samyak darshan gnan charitrani mokshmagaha means this is the Tattvad Sutra, first chapter, first verse, very first chapter, very first verse. It says, right faith, right knowledge, right conduct is a path to the liberation. And what's a right faith and right knowledge? To know my eternal soul substance. And then charitra means to get engrossed with it. That's a path to the liberation. So this is the Tattvad Sutra is kind of quote unquote Bible, Gita or Quran for Jainism, we can say. Remember, those are the words, they don't compare, but still, lack of better comparison, we can say it is incomparable. This Tattvad Sutra is accepted by every Jains in this world. So that's a first chapter, first verse. Second one says, Pravachansar, stanza 82, 199, 242. Pravachansar is written by Acharya Kunkut Swami, and this is the one gives me total understanding of my reality, who I am, what is my structure and function of the soul. That's what he says. So there it says there is no other pathway for liberation except getting engrossed within. That's what it says. Then Darshan Gnan Charitra Roop, નિયમથી નિર્વાણનું કારણ છે. This is Niyamsar. Niyamsar is another holy scripture that Acharya Kunkun Swamiji wrote down, and stanza 2, 3, 90 and Kalash 121. It says the triple gem means a right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct. When I get engrossed within, then it is absolutely reason for liberation. Then मात्र फोर्थ वन मात्र परमार्थ मोक्ष हेतु थी एक द्रव्य के स्वभाव वाला है, इसलिए जीव के स्वभाव के द्वारा ही ज्ञान का भवन बनता है. My true nature, my existence is with myself only. There is nobody is supporting my existence except my own thing. When I look at my own thing, that becomes the reason for me to go on the path of liberation, because that will give me the true understanding of myself. It will give me enlightenment, and when I get further engrossed, it will lead me to the liberation state. That's a summary stanza 156. Next one. सम्यक दर्शन ज्ञान चारित्र्यની એકતાને ધર્મ અર્થ મોક્ષમાં ધર્મ અર્થાત મોક્ષમાં કયો છે, તેનાથી વિપરીત મિથ્યા દર્શન જ્ઞાન ચારિત્ર્યને સંસાર માર્ગ કયો છે. રત્નકાંત સાવકાચાર is another really important scripture which just says that right faith, right knowledge, right conduct is the true path of liberation. Wrong faith, wrong knowledge, wrong conduct is a path to the transmigration. This is stanza number 3, it says. And then Chedala. Chedala is one which was written by Pandit Daulat Ramji about 175 years back. And he really made everything understood so concisely. And what it says, Samyak Darshan Gnan Charan આ ત્રણેયની એકતાને મોક્ષમાં કયો છે. Right faith, right knowledge, right conduct, all these things is unity of all these things is called path to the salvation, path to the liberation. There are several scriptural messages are there, and as we understand that this is not created by somebody, but these are the things mentioned in the scripture, and they are definitely written by highly enlightened saints who are on the path to liberation, and those are the things that we believe. So having said that, now further a student keeps on asking questions that I'm still not convinced. So he says, how does one ends up getting right faith and removes wrong faith? So now I'm getting my feet wet, and I just said, okay, I have to get a right faith. Means I have to put my attention to the eternal soul substance. How can I remove my wrong faith? Then Acharya Bhagavan says, when you give up attention to the physical body, types of alien attachment. Physical body is a close relationship with me, but all the alien attachment, my money, my wealth, my family, my business, my car, my house, my wife, my kids, all those things are alien attachment. They can be separated very easily. But I'm not able to remove my attachment to physical body. So when I give up my attention from the physical, that does not mean you just totally ignore your physical body. It means only that I have to take my attention away from it. Yes, as long as I'm alive, I have associated with the physical body, but my attachment, my mindness, this is my body. I can do this for my body. I can do that for my body. That kind of unity with the body, I try to reduce it. And then by removing the attention from the physical body, and then when I take refuge in the eternal soul substance, then I remove my wrong faith and I attend right faith. So from different angles, when questions have been asked, the enlightened true teacher gives the same answer again and again and again. The student is a very clever, so he's answer a question from different angle, but answer is coming from the same one place. Now, when it's been said that only by directing attention to the eternal true nature, one ends up getting right faith, then, see now, the student is very smart. If I have to put my attention to my eternal soul substance, then I should not perform austerity, charity, auspicious activity, right? I should give up all those things, right? Acharya Bhagwan says, wait a second, you're trying to pull my leg, but I'm not that dumb to get pulled into your wrong argument. What he says, in the first spiritual developmental stage, which is called mithyatva, wrong faith, the inquisitive soul, this soul has inquisitiveness. He wants to know the nature of the soul. And at that time, to know the nature of the soul, he does study of the scripture. Once he studies the scripture, he starts repeatedly thinking about it. He contemplates on it. He listens to the lectures. He listens to the discourses. He does worshipping. He does conducting charitable activity, etc., type of auspicious activity. So what Acharya Bhagwan says, that in the first spiritual development stage, you are doing all this activity. But again, remember, my aim is eternal soul substance. But to go to the eternal soul substance, I'm passing through these phases. I want to go to the second story, and I'm on the first floor. I need to take the steps to go up. But those steps are a means and not the end. The means to achieve the end. I'll give you the first step, I'll go to the second step, I'll give it the first. I go to the third step, I'll leave the second step. And so on and so forth till I go to the highest ultimate, my aim. So all these things do come on the way, but they are not to be acted upon and say, this is my end of my end for obtaining your liberation. It just simply means what it says. Till one obtains right faith, we should continue with this. Now student again asks, he throws the curveball and says, till one obtains right faith, I should continue this auspicious deed, right? So student wants to put importance to his auspicious activity. Then learned saint says, one aim only is to obtain right faith. So all the activities need to be directed in achieving this noble cause. One should not wander away from his narrow vision. Aim should not get diluted. So first thing first is to obtain right faith. Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami, somebody asked question. This is the answer to that question. Somebody asked question that, sir, soul can do only three things, right? Yes. Soul can be in the eternal soul, eternal pure state, innate form, or soul could be in the auspicious activity form or inauspicious activity form. So no, there are only three possible forms that soul could be in. Now, I don't have innate form, means I don't have samyak darshan, I don't have enlightenment, I don't have experience of this eternal soul substance. So now I have only two possibilities, to be an auspicious form or inauspicious form. So the student asked the question to Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami that I don't have samyak darshan, so I could be in auspicious or inauspicious form. I don't like to be inauspicious activity, so shall I continue performing auspicious activity or not? Three choices, one is not there, one I don't want to do it, so I can do the third one only, right? That's a question here. What did Gurudev say? They say, listen, son, you don't have innate experience of the soul substance. You don't want to do the inauspicious act. What is your aim? To obtain the right faith. So just keep that one in. It's too much. So obtain the right faith. To obtain the right faith, you direct all your activity to obtain right faith. Obtain all the activity to directed to the obtain the right faith. All the activities should be directed to this one. Remember, U.S. Army has a very good advertisement, comes on the TV. U.S. Army, aim high. It just says aim high. Don't have the narrow aim. I want to be super millionaire. Keep that aim. Keep working on it, working at it. So you will have the aim established, and so you will have the activities directed in that form. So if my aim is established here, then naturally I won't be doing the inauspicious activities at all. So all my auspicious activities are also directed to obtain the right faith. That means all the activities I perform, I don't give importance to them. For example, I am very sick right now. I went to the operation. I came home. I'm weak, tired, fatigue, and pain and everything. So during night, I slept at home. And first thing in the morning, wife asked me a question, did you sleep well? Well, no, I did not sleep well. Next day, well, I slept maybe hour or so. Third day, well, I slept a little better. Fourth day, I slept. Fifth day, I slept good. Sixth day, I slept. Now that I wake up every morning and I tell my wife, hey, I slept very well. I slept very well. She's going to say, so what a big deal? Are you crazy? You're healthy. So you're going to sleep well. Why you keep on singing about the virtue of sleeping well? For example, I woke up in the morning. I did all the activities of going to bathroom, doing to toothbrush, doing my recitation to the Lord and everything. I did all this activity. Do I count them? Oh, I took breakfast. Oh, I went out. I took a shower. No, those are so routine that I don't give importance to them. So all this auspicious activity I'm going to perform has to be so routine that I should not remember them. It's happening as a second nature to me. What happens to me? Well, listen, you know what? I went to the temple and I gave a $100,000 donation today. And my name was announced and everybody said, oh, Kirit Goswami is a great. Am I giving donation to get my ego get satisfied? No, I get donation, period. I did austerity today, period. I did upvas today, period. So I should think about that kind of thing, right? So those are the things that we have to think about it. Now we are going to benefit number 4, but I think we are coming to the end. We are already 2 minutes about the class. So we'll do the benefit number 4 next time. Any questions if you have, we can answer the questions. And I have to put my electricity, so let me just go to a room and get the electricity. My battery is low, okay? 1 second. Battery is low right now. So if there is any question, let me know. Otherwise, we may have to do the closing, okay? Yes? This way, I can check them. Okay, this one? This? Okay. I'm sorry. I was trying to put the electricity on. Okay, if there's any question, we can entertain. If not, otherwise we are going to close, okay? All right. Javani ke gyan se suje lokalo, sovani mastak namo sada det hun. No, 9 times Namo comment. Namo Rantana, Namo Siddhana, Namo Aryan, Namo Jan, Namo Loe Soshanam. Namo Rantana, Namo Siddhana, Namo Aryan, Namo Jan, Namo Loe Soshanam. Namo Rantana, Namo Siddhana, Namo Aryan, Namo Jan, Namo Loe Soshanam. Namo Rantana, Namo Siddhana, Namo Aryan, Namo Jan, Namo Loe Soshanam. Namo Rantana, Namo Siddhana, Namo Aryan, Namo Jan, Namo Loe Soshanam. Namo Rantana, Namo Siddhana, Namo Aryan, Namo Jan, Namo Loe Soshanam. Namo Rantana, Namo Siddhana, Namo Aryan, Namo Jan, Namo Loe Soshanam. Namo Rantana, Namo Siddhana, Namo Aryan, Namo Jan, Namo Loe Soshanam. Namo Rantana, Namo Siddhana, Namo Aryan, Namo Jan, Namo Loe Soshanam. Jai Jinendra, and
જય જીનેન્દ્ર.
yeah, and hope everybody have a nice Diwali and of this auspicious Nirvan Kalyanak day. Continue to
Thank you.
Yeah, Bhavi Nirvan.
okay, Mahavir Nirvan Kalyanak day. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Jai Jinendra.
Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali to you.
Happy
Happy Diwali
Diwali.
to everybody.
Thanks.
Happy Diwali to everybody and you, Ben.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Happy Diwali.